Welcome to another exciting episode of Sports Pizza. My name is Adeni Ifalano, and today we have a lot to talk about in the world of sport. From basketball, of course, to boxing, where Joyce didn't really find joy in his last encounter, talking about his last boxing bout. But then again, there was joy in the world of tennis for Andrei Rublev as he won the 1000 Masters, talking about the Monte Carlo Masters. We have news in the world of football, not so good news for Arsenal fans. But hey, if you're a fan of Barcelona, you definitely want to keep your fingers crossed, because you're not sure of what is going to happen in the Spanish La Liga. Or maybe you're sure. I'm talking about Barcelona winning the Spanish La Liga title. All of this we have for you on the show today, but we'll go on a very quick break before we serve you all the news. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the show. Of course, talking about Sports Pizza. So let's get into the business of things. Let's start off with other sports, and let's tell you, in the world of boxing, Joyce was dealt a major blow in his pursuit of a world title shot as he suffered a stunning stoppage defeat to China's Zhilei Zhang at the Copper Box Arena on Saturday night. WBO interim belt holder, talking about Joyce, he was already looking at a world title shot against either of Usyk or Tyson Fury, or maybe our very own Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, but he was stopped in his track over the weekend after the Chinese Zhilei Zhang, of course, dealt a severe blow to his right eye. As a matter of fact, he had a swollen eye in just the sixth round. Yes, in just the sixth round, he had a swollen eye in that particular encounter, and the referee had to stop the bout. I don't know, for someone that was already looking to fight Anthony Joshua or to fight Tyson Fury, and to be stopped by relatively unknown Chinese boxer, talking about Zhang, definitely not a good thing for his career. And funny enough, of course, Joyce had to relinquish his interim WBO title because of a stunning performance from China's Zhang, who dealt a very severe blow to his right eye. As a matter of fact, he had a swollen eye, and the referee had to come to his rescue by saying that, of course, if I don't stop this guy, maybe they will eventually finish this guy today, but hey, let me just stop this fight in the sixth round. Because Joyce, before this fight, was already looking at fighting either of Tyson Fury or Alexander Usyk, or our very own Anthony Joshua, just like I said earlier on. But that will not be happening right now, because the person that has a shot at fighting those boxers I just mentioned is the Chinese man, talking about Zhang, who is already talking tough and saying that, hey, Fury, I definitely want to fight you. Will that happen? Well, that is left to be seen. If there's one man I'm very sure that he won't be fighting anytime soon, is our very own Anthony Joshua, who last week said he wants to focus on recovering from his last fight with Jeremy Franklin, and getting set for a bout in the month of December. And according to the reports we are getting, is that Anthony Joshua's boxing promoter, talking about Eddie N, is looking at an undisputed fight between Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk, and Deontay Wilder. Because that talk is already ongoing. That fight, also, it's looking likely that we're going to be having that fight in Saudi Arabia. Hey, all of that is just in the negotiation stage right now. They are just talking about it. We've not actually seen concrete news, from their promoters coming out to tell us that they are going to be having an undisputed bout. Well, there's no smoke without fire, so hopefully we'll get to see news later on before the end of the year that Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, and the Ukrainian man himself, talking about Alexander Usyk, will be having an undisputed world title fight in the Saudi Arabia. So moving ahead from boxing, let's talk about tennis and tell you that one man is definitely happy this morning, talking about Andrei Rublev. Over the weekend, he won at the ATP 1000 Masters in Monte Carlo, talking about the clay season in the world of tennis. Yeah, the clay season is upon us, and we are getting set to see the second Grand Slam of the year, which is the Roland Garros, the French Open. Your favorites, some of your favorites would not be playing at that tournament, talking about Rafael Nadal, who is out injured, and Carlos Alcaraz, his fellow countryman, who is also out injured. But talking about the clay season, Andrei Rublev claimed his first ATP Masters 1000 title over the weekend after he defeated teenager Garoon 5-7, 6-2, 7-5 in the Monte Carlo Masters final. Because that particular tennis game lasted for 2 hours and 34 minutes. So a very, very big one for Andrei Rublev. Maybe, just maybe, that will give him morale, to boost his morale going into the Roland Garros, talking about the second Grand Slam of the year. Would that happen? Well, that is left to be seen. But congratulations to Andrei Rublev. I'm still keeping my fingers crossed to see a day that a Nigerian will actually win at the Grand Slam. Would that happen? Yeah. That is left to be seen. So moving away from that, let's touch base with football. Let's start with news regarding the Nigerian team right now. Not the senior national team, and of course not the women team. Of course, the women team, they are preparing for the FIFA Women's World Cup. And talking about preparing for FIFA World Cup, the under-20 team, of course, they started their preparation for the FIFA under-20 World Cup. Cast your mind back to a couple of weeks back. FIFA took the hosting rights of the under-20 World Cup from Indonesia and gave it to Argentina because of political reasons. And the news right now is that the head coach of the Flying Eagles, talking about Coach Ladamboso, he has invited 39 players to camp in Abuja for the Flying Eagles' final preparation for the 2023 FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Argentina. The Flying Eagles, of course, they finished third at the Under-20 AFCON tournament in Egypt a couple of months back. But hopefully, we will not see a repeat of that performance at the AFCON tournament at the world stage, because what we saw at the AFCON tournament was definitely nothing to write home about, even though they came third in that tournament, just managed to qualify for the FIFA World Cup. And of course, 4 countries will be representing Africa at the Under-20 World Cup, talking about Nigeria, Senegal, the Gambia, and Tunisia. Yeah, I'm in Nigeria, but at this particular moment, I want to put my money on Senegal going far in the tournament than Nigeria, except something changed for the Flying Eagles boys. But Ladamboso is making sure, or is on the way to making sure, that something good comes out of the Flying Eagles. He has invited 39 players to camp, and as at the time of reading out this news to you, I'm very sure the training session has started with the Flying Eagles boys, and hopefully the best legs will be selected to represent the country in Argentina. So moving away from that, but still sticking with news regarding Nigeria, Enyimba, of course, won away from home in the Nigerian Premier Football League over the weekend. As a matter of fact, the only away victory over the weekend, after they defeated Kwara United away from home in Ilorin. 2-1 intended in favor of the Aba boys. Of course, the goals were scored by Samad Kadiri, of course, the goal scorer for Kwara United, but for Enyimba. But the 2 goals for Enyimba were scored by Chidioke Mbama, and that gave the Aba boys the 3 maximum points. And that also put them second position in Group A, just 4 points behind league leaders in Group A, who are Bende Insurance. And talking about Bende Insurance, they have not won since the league made a return back in the second half, but they have not lost also. They are the only unbeaten team in the Nigerian Premier Football League this season so far. 5 draws in a row they have had. And one thing about Bende Insurance, once they concede, they find a way to score quickly. Once they concede, they find a way to score quickly. And of course, Remo Stars scored the first goal in that particular encounter. The Benin Arsenal, as Bende Insurance are called, went back to Benin with 1 point. They are still unbeaten, just like I said, but their points at the top of the league has been reduced to just 4 points. Will Enyimba be able to make up ground on Bende Insurance? Well, that is left to be seen. But one thing I can guarantee you is that I'm putting my money on Enyimba and Bende Insurance qualifying from the Group A, talking about the Super 6 playoff. 3 teams will qualify from each group, talking about Group A and Group B. But in Group B, we have Lobby Stars, who are still top of that particular group. And I don't know who is going to make it at the end of the day. But my money is also on Lobby Stars to qualify from Group B. And of course, Rivers United in Group B are in 4th position, but they have 2 games to play, 2 games in hand to play. And after they play those 2 games, you expect them to move higher in the table, talking about the Group B of the Nigerian Premier Football League. So we'll go on a very, very quick break. Don't go anywhere. We still have a lot to talk about, talking about the European scenes when it comes to football. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sport Pizza. I'm very sure you've enjoyed the first half of the show. So let's get into it, talking about the second half of the show and serve you news about a team that always find a way to bottle a lead in the second half of the game, because the last time out they bought with a 2-0 lead against Liverpool to draw the game 2-2, and also over the weekend same thing happened away from home at the London Stadium against West Ham. And of course I'm talking about Arsenal Football Club. They raised into a 2-goal lead as early as the 10th minute of the game. Gabriel Jesus scoring, and of course the captain Martin Odegaard scoring, but they were pegged back by goals from Seydou Benrahma, the Algerian, and of course a wonderful goal from Jarrod Bowen. 2-2 it ended, but maybe West Ham will be happy with the 1 point that they got in that particular encounter, because they are currently facing relegation right now, and they don't want to relegate. Of course, nobody wants to relegate from the English Premier League. And talking about a team chasing Arsenal right now, because they will tell you that object in the mirror appears closer than the way it looks like, and that is what is happening right now with Manchester City. 4 points behind Arsenal with a game in hand. Yeah, 4 points behind Arsenal with a game in hand after they defeated Leicester City 3-1 over the weekend. Erling Haaland grabbed a brace in that particular encounter, and John Stones also scored for Manchester City. Everybody is scoring for Manchester City right now, and they are picking a maximum point. You know, when they tell you that City go on a 10-game winning run before the end of the season, well, it's looking likely that they are going to do that this season. They've gone 5 games, unbeaten. They've not even dropped a point in the Premier League. You don't want to bet against them going 10 games winning run in the Premier League. Will Arsenal be able to hold on and win the Premier League title? Of course, their first Premier League title in 19 years. Yeah, you heard that right. The last time they won a Premier League title was in the year 2004. Unbeaten, they did it that season. Will they be able to do that again? Not unbeaten, but will they be able to win the Premier League this season? Well, that is left to be seen. The race for the top 4 is also something to look at. Newcastle United, not surprisingly, but they lost to Aston Villa 3-0 away from home over the weekend. But the biggest result, of course, the biggest upset for the weekend in the Premier League was Tottenham Hotspur losing at home to Bournemouth 2-3. After Son Heung-min scored for Tottenham Hotspur, you probably felt that, yeah, Tottenham Hotspur are going to pick the maximum point. But football has a funny way of turning things around for us. But Manchester United are back in third position and the Champions League place after they defeated Nottingham Forest over the weekend. Anthony scoring his first Premier League goal in 15 games. Yeah, I had to add that. His first Premier League goals in 15 games. But he also provided the assist for Diogo Dalot to score the second goal for Manchester United. So the race for the top 4, Manchester United, Newcastle United, and Tottenham are fighting for that particular position. Maybe because Tottenham does not have United at the front of their name, maybe they won't make up at the top 4 at the end of the day. But you don't want to bet against United, talking about Manchester United making at the top 4. So moving away from that, 7 games left to be played in the Premier League. 4 points behind Arsenal, that is Manchester City. 74 point Arsenal, 70 point Manchester City. Well, I'm keeping my fingers crossed about that. So moving away from that to Spain, and tell you that Barcelona, for a second consecutive week, failed to score a goal in the Spanish La Liga after they drew goalless away from home against Getafe. Last weekend, they played a goalless draw against Girona at home, and this weekend again they failed to beat Getafe. Madrid are trying to see if Thunder can strike again after they won their game 2-0 away from home against Cadiz. Real Madrid, they are 11 points behind Barcelona with 9 games left to play. 11 points behind Barcelona with 9 games left to play. Would they be able to gain ground of Barcelona? Well, that is left to be seen. But most football fans this morning will feel that Barcelona should still be able to win the Spanish La Liga title. Moving away from that to a league where we have a title race in our hands, talking about the German Bundesliga, where Dortmund are 2 points behind Bayern. As a matter of fact, they went into the weekend games 2 points behind Bayern, and at some point during the weekend, it felt like Dortmund were going to go level on points with Bayern, because Bayern played a 1-1 draw at home against TSG Hoffenheim. Andre Kramaric with a wonderful free kick to equalize for TSG Hoffenheim. Andre Kramaric with a wonderful free kick in the 71st minute to equalize for TSG Hoffenheim after Benjamin Pavard put Bayern 1-0 ahead in the first half. But Dortmund, that is where we we had a very, very entertaining and funny game, I can say, because Dortmund raised into a 2-goal lead against Stuttgart. Also, Stuttgart got a player sent off in that particular encounter, but somehow Stuttgart found their way back into the game. And guess what? Dortmund scored a late goal, 3-2 in the second half, and we thought that was the end for Stuttgart, only for Stuttgart to find a way back into the game. Guess what? Stuttgart have been threatened by relegation, so that's why they want to make sure that they get every point that they can get. Of course, they want to amass every point they can get in the Bundesliga this season. But will they stay up in the Bundesliga? That is left to be seen. But definitely it's a title race in our hand in Germany. 6 games left to play, 2 points behind Bayern. Will Dortmund be able to win? Well, that is left to be seen. But then again, they signed Thomas Tuchel because they don't like what the former manager Julian Nagelsmann was doing, talking about Bayern Munich. But it's looking like Thomas Tuchel is taking Bayern to where they don't know this morning. Well, it is football. Anything can still happen. But my money is definitely on Bayern to win the league at the end of the day. Moving ahead from Bayern to a team that I'm very, very sure are going to win the league this season. Talking about the French Ligue 1, Paris Saint-Germain over the weekend defeated one of their title rivals. Talking about RC Lens, 3-1 at the Parc des Princes in France. The capital club raised into a 3-goal lead courtesy of Lionel Messi and of course Vitinha, the Portuguese, and Kylian Mbappe. Of course, 3-0 was the scoreline in the first half. But guess what? That was not the major news of the day. The major news of the day was that Kylian Mbappe became the record highest goal scorer for Paris Saint-Germain in the French Ligue 1. Yeah, beating the record set by Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Edison Cavani. So Kylian Mbappe is in the league of his own in the French Ligue 1 when it comes to record goal scorer for Paris Saint-Germain. You don't want to bet against him beating the highest goal record for Paris Saint-Germain by a player. Well, it still has a long way to go regarding that. But will he stick around to do that? Talking about beating that particular record, that is left to be seen, because every day, Kylian Mbappe gets linked to moving to Real Madrid. Will he move to Real Madrid? Well, that is left to be seen. But for now, Paris Saint-Germain are coasting to the French Ligue 1 title. They are 8 points ahead of their nearest challenger, talking about Olympique Marseille. Yeah, Olympique Marseille also won over the weekend at home, 3-1. That game ended for the boys from Marseille. I'm very sure you enjoyed that play of the week from us, but one thing I can guarantee is that the fun never ends on Sports Pizza. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms at Sports Pizza, and also send us a mail with the email address being scrolled on the screen. We'll be ready to read from you, of course, to get a feedback from you. My name is Adeni Falana. Until we come away again next week, bye for now.